Greetings, and thank you so much for tuning in to the Barbara Dean Franklin Show, Real Talk, Real People. I am your host, Barbara Dean Franklin, and today I have the pleasure of sitting with my guest, Prophet David Brown. How are you?
I am fine. How you doing, Lady Barbara?
I am wonderful,
Great.
wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come sit with me and to share with me Write the Vision 2015.
Yes.
But before we get into that, I always like to share with my audience how I met my guests, And so you and I were introduced by a very good friend of mine, Dr. Lynn Joseph. And if I talked about Lynn, that would be a totally different show.
Right.
So we're going to wait.
Right.
We're going to wait on that. But David, I want to introduce you to the people who may be listening, who may be viewing this show. Tell them a little bit about your background, where you've come from.
Okay. Well, first of all, Lady Barbara, thank you so much for the opportunity to come and share with you. I feel it an honor, and I don't take this privilege lightly to be able to talk to the people of God and to share with them what's going on. A little bit about myself. I was born and reared here in Detroit, Michigan, and I went to college in Ohio, and then from there I moved from Dayton to Denver, Colorado, where I pastored a small church, and I was once the music pastor for Bishop Dennis Leonard and the Heritage Christian Center. But the Lord brought me back to this area in 2009. But I want to say that I had received a call to ministry while I was in college, and I followed up with that call with attendance to where I attended United Theological Seminary in Dayton, Ohio. I was ordained and went forth from there.
Okay. So. Now, David, I want to talk a little bit about your, when you're called, because I know probably a lot of people struggle with that. Is God calling me, or am I saying myself that this is the call on my life? So how did you know that you know that you know that you know that it was God that was calling you? Just to share with somebody who is struggling.
Wow. Let me say it this way. Everyone is called.
All right.
It's just the level and what they're called to. That's where it comes in. I knew I was called, but I had no idea when God called me. I knew I was called to ministry. But I had no idea where that calling was going to take me. And I did not know until 1998 that God was calling me to the prophetic ministry. That was totally foreign to me. I had no idea, didn't know what was going on. I was pastoring a church at the time. And I knew the voice of God, but not like I know it now. So it came through prayer. It came through reading God's word. It came through people that would recognize the call upon my life. It came through leadership confirming what God was doing in my life, because 2 to 3 years between the pastorate and the prophetic ministry, literally it was crazy because I had no idea what God was doing. But through the word of God, through leadership, through prophets and apostles that never laid eyes on me, began to prophesy into my life. And then I began to hear the voice of God more clearly, which is a whole nother talk show. We can talk about that. That's a book in of itself.
I know that's right. When people are struggling, you said something that was real good, because everybody has a gift, everybody has a calling on their life. Everybody is born to do something, and a lot of times it's not just for you. It's something that you need to do and give to somebody else.
Exactly.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about Write Your Vision 2015. I want to know, so where did it come from? I mean, because I think that this is a great thing, because people need to write their vision.
I don't want to prolong a big answer, but I'm going. It's something that dawned on me before I came here. This has been 3 to 4 years in the making. It is a combination of not only writing your vision, but really stirring up the voice of God in your life. Many of us, we have plans, we have ideals, we have goals, but a lot of times we plan without God. And this is going to be a session that we can consecrate ourselves. And when I say consecration, I don't mean us being stoic and all stuffed shirts, but that it's a godly environment with godly people. There's nothing more powerful than a prophetic environment, because you'll hear the voice of God and you'll flow in the Spirit like you've never known it before. And it's epic because I don't know anything like this.
Okay.
So I have to tell this one story so that you understand why we're doing it this time of year. About 5 years ago, a friend of mine and we attended a program that someone had put on the radio that if you come out on tonight, we're going to speak a prophetic word over your life, and we're going to talk to you. We're going to have a service. And so we went to that service, and I mean, it was it was almost like 1,200 people in a room. And there was this gentleman that was sitting next to me, and there was so many people in the room that the leader got up and said, listen, we're not going to be able to prophesy to everybody on tonight because there's too many people here. And that gentleman next to me, this great big burly guy, tears began to roll down his face. And it had such an impact on me, even to this day, because I said, God, that wasn't my program. You didn't call me to do that. Right. But if you ever call me, I'm going to assure that anybody that is looking for a word from God, I don't care if it's 5,000 people, they're going to speak. If it takes me all night to prophesy into their lives. But God bless me to bring a group of the sharpest, most accurate prophets in this area.
Wow.
I don't even think this has ever happened before, that the prophets and the apostles are coming together to speak a word over the people so that they can write the vision that God has.
See, and when you talk about writing the vision, writing your goals, writing down your dreams, there are people now that, everybody's wanted to be an entrepreneur, so even in that, that writing your vision, this is a prophetic word for such a time as this, but it helps you. It's just not about the church. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It helps in every area of your life if you write that vision and make it plain. When you go back to, to the book, Habakkuk, because God got a word.
Oh, yeah.
And when he gives us stuff over and over again, see, I'm guilty. I'm sitting here talking, but there are things that I need to write, and I have my publisher, I have a book,
great.
The book is in me. I haven't written it down yet.
Come on now.
Darlene, and she told me the other day, she sent me an inbox. She said, I'm obedient. If you're obedient, then I'm going to wait for you, because life after the crack of dawn needs to be written. So I have a book that because before I was trying to write a book, just write the book the way the book is supposed to be read. I wasn't writing down what I was hearing. I wasn't writing down, past experiences. I wasn't writing down goals to what I want to accomplish. I'm trying to write chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3.
Right.
And there's a way. So as you talk about write the vision, David, what do you envision? I know you talk about the prophets coming. I know the people of God will be blessed. I know that there's a word in this. But when you started this, what is your vision? Because you had to write your vision to write the vision.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, let me first start off by saying that this is the first, I want to call, installment into the introduction of what we call the marketplace prophets.
All right.
Everybody is not going to be behind the pulpit preaching, even though we need preaching. I'm a preacher.
Okay.
I love good preaching. I love good singing. I'm a worship leader.
Okay.
However, after Sunday, we need to do something on Monday morning.
Corporate needs
talk.
The division.
That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Joseph was a marketplace prophet. His role was not in the church.
Yes.
His calling was to government officials. His calling was to CEOs. His calling was to leaders. His calling was to in the political arena. Okay, Joseph. Then you talk about Daniel.
Okay.
Daniel was not in the temple. Daniel was in the workplace. He was in the corporate ballrooms and boardrooms. So God is saying he's stirring this up. He's stirring this up in people. And so when God speaks to you, everybody's got an entrepreneur. Everybody's got something down on the inside. You're talking about writing your book.
Yes.
I know for a fact I'm going to have 2 publishers there that help people publish books. Because it's all about writing down what God has put in you.
Most definitely.
So that's what we're trying to bring out of people, that there is a vision. There is something in you, and this is going to be an environment that's going to happen.
And the thing that I'm excited about is that I truly believe that there will be some takeaways, so when they come in here, like, I don't want to blow the whole, thing, but just talk about, what do you think some takeaways will be for people who are coming to?
Well, the main takeaway is that you're going to walk away with your plan in your hand. See, I had so many, this is how this was stirred up too. So many people would tell me, okay, well, I'm going to do this. First of all, resolutions and New Year's, they may work, they may not work. But when you have a written plan that you can go down and check off the boxes during the course of the year and then look back next year. See, the real thing that I'm excited about, I know that there are going to be at least 100 people that are going to be at this event that's going to write down their vision and God's going to bring it to pass within that year simply because they wrote it down. See, I got to say this.
Okay, say it.
I'm giving you some insight of the workshop.
All right.
When we have a vision from God, it's in our spirit. There's no building, there's no blueprint that was ever created that did not first come within the imagination or in the mind of the spirit, even when God gives it. The first step of manifestation of that vision is writing it down. There's not a building. A designer can see a building in his mind. He can see the glass. But in order for it to come together, he must write it down. And guess what? He must share that vision with somebody else who has the gifts and the ability to bring it to pass.
You just said something right there. Okay, see, that's a good word right there. But let's, before we even go on, we have to tell them when it is and where it is. So tell them the date of the vision.
Okay, the event is going to be on Saturday, January the 3rd, at the beginning of the year. The first Saturday. So you can, we're going to start the year off right. You hear what I'm saying?
Amen.
Saturday, January the 3rd, 2015, at the beautiful and spacious Banquet Center of the Greater Grace Temple on 7 Mile near Telegraph on Detroit's far northwest side. State-of-the-art facility. I've spoken with Bishop Ellis. I've spoken with Lady Chrisette, and they are excited about this as I am. They said, this is powerful. And I said, well, this is what God has given me. So it's set in stone. If you want more information, there's a phone number you can call, 248-905-1294. Again, that's 248-905-1294 for more information.
And you know what? As I sit here, I think about the amount of money that I've paid to write a business plan that I've never written.
Oh my goodness.
That I've attempted, but I've never completed, because people, they'll put you in a class and they'll tell you, come here, you'll write your business plan, but then they kind of just leave you there by yourself. I envision that as you do this class and you have people write their vision down, that, they'll be able to open to freely, even in the midst of fear, to be able to share and write what it is that they want to do, even afraid.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's what the problem is for a lot of people. They don't write it because they don't believe it.
We don't take the time to plan. We don't take the time, and that's what I'm saying. Instead of this year, instead of spending that $250 for those Jimmy Choo shoes, or that Michael Kors purse, come on now. Invest
in yourself.
With God.
My God.
The prophets will be there. The apostles will be there. We're going to sit there. You're going to have a workbook. The room is set up with a desk with paper and pencil. And we're going to walk you through each step because we have not even gotten into why plans fail. We haven't gotten into. We're going to talk about goals and objectives. We're going to talk about what happens when people plan without God as opposed to planning with God. See, a lot of us, for our lives, we're going against the grain. We'll get a lot better results when we go with the grain based upon what God has put. We're going to bring all that out. We're going to talk about core values. Because, see, you got to know who you are.
First.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I'm giving up all the grapes,
but, it's like so simple, but it seems so, because until you know who you are, you can't do anything for anybody else. And what's really so awesome, this is confirmation for me because I'm hearing word after word after word after word after word that is saying the same thing. We don't invest in ourselves, but we got the weaves, $150. We got the shoes.
And we like it. I like that, but come on here.
Exactly. I should be able to take and have no fear with, investing in myself if I have to pay $150, $200 for something that's going to be beneficial for me.
Exactly.
That I could have in my hand, that I could go back and refer to over and over. It's the gift that keeps on giving, because I can always look at it.
And I'll give you I'm gonna give you a little tidbit. I wasn't going to announce this until the event.
Okay.
Anybody that comes to the event this year, guess what?
What?
They can come again the next year.
Wow. Now that's powerful. Who does that?
Who does that?
Okay.
They can come again, no registration.
All right.
Free registration again the next year. Because I know when they walk away, they're going to say, my life changed tremendously. I started my business.
Okay.
Okay. I started my business. Matter of fact, you're going to be able to implement what we talk about on Sunday morning, and then on Monday morning, and on Tuesday. So you're going to have your plan when you're going to implement it. A lot of us do stuff, but we never implement it.
Yes.
We never put it into action. We're going to show you how to get it going.
As I sit here in the chair, I'm sitting here with you, but really I'm rolling around on the floor over here, because this is just so good. It's so good. And, you spoke a word into my life, a couple of weeks ago.
Amen.
And you spoke a word, and I know that it was nobody but the Lord, because only God knows when I'm in my secret closet what we talk about. And you hit on some things that only God could have told you. So I know for a fact that if you've gathered prophets that are like you, if you if you have people who love the Lord like you do, who listen and hear and know when they've been called, then I know that this is going to be an awesome event. What I also want to do, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you directly, do you have a website or?
Yes, my website is very, very easy. www.davidbrownspeaks.com.
Okay.
davidbrownspeaks.com. www. Easy, get on my website. Again, the phone number. If I don't answer the call, one of our staffing people, 248-905-1294, because we want to assure that everybody can be accommodated that wants to be a part of this. And here's what I'm saying. If you really want to come and want to save some big money, you need to register now. We have an early bird. We have a partner plan. We have a couples plan that if a husband or wife, somebody said, well, we saw a woman on the front. Is this for men too? Yes, this is for men.
Okay.
Yes, this is for men. This is not limited to just women, but I have a place in my heart for women leaders.
Okay. Great.
So I'm trying to encourage women that I see that have strong leadership qualities, but just don't know where to start, or to bring their small group and come on and be a part of this. This is powerful.
Right. And when you say that, because women, we hold so much power. We are powerful. We have so much power, but we give it away because we're not sure of ourselves. So I think it's a great thing that if we can, if women would just recognize who they are.
I got another one for you. Okay. I'm not sure whether my numbers are right. I don't like to quote numbers, but I know it's in the billions. The women in the United States between the ages of 25 and 46 control and direct over $782 billion.
Really? That's powerful.
Who makes the financial decisions in the home? The man brings up, but the woman says, you're going to buy this chair, we're going to have that refrigerator, we're going to go here for vacation, and daddy says, okay.
Exactly.
That's power.
and it is. And so when we are women leaders, what we need to do is reach down to our younger, teach the
teaching.
Right now while they're young, because these are the children who we're going to be leaving this world to. When you talk about write your vision, writing a plan, I think about, I worked for AT&T for 36 years, and I absolutely hated at the end of the year. You always had to write your goals down for the next year.
But AT&T made money, didn't it?
All day long.
That's where I got this. What I didn't mention is that I spent 25 years in corporate. I spent 20 years with Department of Defense, and every year we had to do that as part of our job.
Right.
We had to sit down and write what we were going to do based upon our skills, based upon our job description, and guess what? Our managers and our people met their goals. Why? Because they were written down.
Right. And another thing too, like I think that what people have a problem with is that when you have to identify your own strengths, or your weakness, shortcomings, or whatever you want to call them now. But you have to identify them. You have to know. You have to own it. You have to sit there. You have to own what it is that you don't know. And what you're good at, you do. Do what you do well, and that you don't, but own it and figure out a way how to get better at it.
Right. So, oh my goodness, that's it. That's it.
I'm excited. So can you are you sharing some of the name of the prophets that are coming out with you, or
I don't have a problem doing that. One of the people that are leading our prophetic teams is Dr. Lenny Swanigan and Pastor Zanita Swanigan. I've worked directly with them, and let me say this: a lot of people marvel over my prophetic gift. I've been in the prophetic since 1998, and they go, "Oh man, that was just how did you know that? First of all, God tells me this." Right. But here's what I'm saying: there are people that can prophesy a lot better than I can, and the people who I surround myself with, that's what I try to do. Even the students that we teach at the school, I tell them that with what I've imparted to you, if you don't prophesy better than I, like my mentor and teacher, Dr. Bill Hammond, taught us. If you don't prophesy better than I, then I failed as a teacher. You need to be better.
I need to give you what I have, and you get better.
There you go. That's it. That's our job, is that you be better than we are.
Wow. I think that's what you as a parent, you try to get to your children. You try to impart into them so that they will be better than you are. I think that's what, although I don't think we could ever get better than God, but he wants us to be our best. He wants us to mirror him, walk in his power, his anointing, his calling.
Let me share something else to you about most of the prophets that we have coming. They are not just in the church. These are entrepreneurs. They own their own businesses, So they have that vision, they have that, and they also do something we call impartation.
Impartation.
A lot of people don't understand impartation, but that's heavy.
Tell us.
Well, impartation is, the thing is with impartation, it's a giving heart. And so if I come in as a prophet or as an apostle, the gifting that God has divinely placed in me, I have the ability to pass it on to you and impart it, because I want you to be better. I want you to be sharper. I want you to do more than I've done. That's the kingdom concept. The kingdom concept is not me be great. The kingdom concept is you be greater than I. And that's what Jesus said. He says, ye shall do these works, and greater works shall you do, because I go to the Father. So it'd be selfish for me to die with all of this. I want to impart everything, as Miles Monroe said. He said, die empty.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I told somebody the other day about loving people. That's my gift. I know I love, and when I go to the grave, I want to be empty of love.
Of everything. I want to pour out everything we've had.
Yes, I do. And so that's why I tell people all the time how much I love you. It's a true, sincere desire. David, somebody is out there, they're listening, they want to come, and they maybe they will come, but there's somebody that may not be able to make it. They need to hear a word. They need to know that, if God has done it for you, that he can do it for them. I want you to look into that camera, and I just want you to speak life over somebody. Just talk from your heart about the gift that God has given you.
What I want to say to those that are listening now, this is an opportunity for you to come and plug into God on a new level, to plug into your calling, to plug into your ministry. It's an opportunity. I invite you to come out. There's someone that is struggling. You've tried, you've put some things together. You thought you missed God, or you feel something in your life and you want to do something. You're tired of doing the same thing over again. Let's do something different. Let's come together. Let's come out where we can go in an environment where there are other people around you that are willing to encourage you, to network, to share, and to help you get over this hump. This is what you've been looking for. Don't put it off another day. Let's not talk about it. Let's put something in your hands that God has inspired, even through your own prayers and through your own ministry. I'll look for you there. Come on out and share with us.
Yes. I like what you say, don't talk about it. And I always say, don't talk about it. It's time to be about it. It's really time to, put our money, where our mouth is. Because we talk, we do a lot of talking, but we don't follow up, and that's what we need to do, is just follow up, because somewhere right there in the midst of this seminar, somebody is going to be blessed. It's exactly what somebody is looking for. I was talking to somebody on the phone this morning, that needed some conversation. So I know that somebody is going to be blessed from this.
Yes.
From this time with David. 25 minutes is never enough time.
No. Can I come back?
Yeah,
okay.
You better. You better.
All right.
You better.
I would love to.
I thank you again for coming out. I want to say to my audience, from my beating heart to your beating heart, I love you. You understand? Okay.